Hey y'all, it's Ayanna. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my socials at _ringbells on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Matter of fact, y'all, comment your Instagrams down below. I'm gonna be following some people back. I do appreciate y'all that interacted with the poll that I posted a few days ago. Side note, I didn't even know I could do that, but I'm gonna start doing that more so I can start, gauging what you guys are like, looking for. But based on those poll results, you guys did vote for the girl, you're still stalking me or something. Part 2, don't even remember what I named it, but we're gonna do the part 2. And side note, y'all, do this look crazy? Do my hair look crazy? I tried to do something new. I never really did this style with braids before, but tell me, be honest too. Tell me if it look crazy because I would never do it again. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, we're gonna jump right into today's story time. All right, so you already know, got to give y'all the background, got to set the scene. Now, we're not really setting the scene. Obviously, this is a part 2, so y'all got to go back and watch part 1. We'll just do like a little mini recap. So remember I told y'all after Delilah hit me up, basically saying how, oh, I'm still dealing with your favorite man, your favorite guy. And I was just like, oh, that's crazy. So then when I hit him up, he was like, oh, but he was pleading the fifth and all of that other stuff, y'all. But remember I told y'all, after that, he was coming out to my house. Remember I told y'all he wasn't working. He was coming out to my house. He lives 45 minutes away. Driving out here, driving back. Looking for any excuse. Oh, I gotta go to a clothing store out there. Can we link for dinner? No. Oh, I got some clothes. You left some clothes over here. And I told y'all it was like some leggings, a tank top, and like, I don't even know, some socks or something. And he was like, oh, I wanted to bring it to you. And I was like, I don't need it. You could throw it away. And then he came and brought it in a bag and left it on my car trying to get me to come downstairs. I was like, no. Yeah, he drove back home. And I believe the next day after that, I don't remember exactly what he did. But now we're getting into, like I said, he was doing this back and forth for like 3 or 4 days. So leading up to this day, now mind y'all, after the last night when he was like, okay, I'm bringing you your clothes and stuff, I blocked him. Okay, I blocked Jordan from my phone. Now, the next day, I'm at home, I'm chilling. It's a Sunday, it's a regular day. And I get a text. But the text is from Jordan's cousin. Jordan's cousin doesn't really need a name. We can just name him Right Hand, because that was his right hand man. So we'll just name him Right Hand. So I get a text from Right Hand, and Right Hand is like, oh, hey, I'm gonna see if I can find the text, y'all, because y'all know I love my receipts. So he basically hits me up and he was like, hey, Jordan is trying to get in contact with you. He said it's an emergency. Y'all, so I'm like, an emergency? I'm like, what's the emergency? He was like, I don't know, he didn't tell me.
Cannot trick me. You cannot trick me.
So my attitude is like, okay, well, if he didn't tell you what the emergency was, clearly it's not an emergency, right? Because if it was truly an emergency, wouldn't he tell you what it was so you could relay that information to me? He was like, I don't know, he didn't tell me, but he said, can you unblock him because, he needs to let you know, what's going on. I believe he's out there near you. Why are you back out here? So I'm like, okay. And I know some of y'all probably like, girl, what you unblock him for? Da, 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 da. I don't know. Like I said, y'all, I be doing stuff. And side note, somebody had just commented, I believe on last week's video, and was like, oh, I don't understand why you were still allowing him to play in your face, because it was fun. Like, because it was fun. And at the end of the day, I was still getting something out of it, but I didn't care about the relationship aspect anymore. And if you actually paid attention to the story time, like I said, he wanted me back. And I went back, but I told him I'm going to violate. That's what he wanted. He was still spending money on this, spending money on that. Even if he didn't have the money, I didn't care. That's your business. You get what I'm saying? Everybody like, oh, but he got kids. Again, not my concern. He could have easily been like, okay, you talking about you going to violate, you going to do this. I don't want to deal with you no more. Okay, but he chose to. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm like, what is he back out here for? So I unblocked him, right? I hit him up. I said, Right Hand said you had an emergency. What's wrong? Y'all, this man's talking about some, I'm at the Target by your house. Can you come? I got robbed. I told myself I wasn't going to laugh. He was like, I got robbed. So I'm like, you got robbed? I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, I got robbed. Can you come? I was like, no, call the police. And he was like, what you mean, call the police? I'm like, call the police. He was like, wow, that's crazy. I would never do that to you. I understand you mad at me. I understand we're not talking right now, but you really can't come. You really can't come here and be here for me. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Track them down, lock them up, run them down with my car? What am I supposed to do? What do you want me there for? So I'm texting my best friend, and I don't know if I have, oh, obviously I do, Star. So I'm texting Star at the same time, and Star is like, girl, he wants you to go over there and rub his back. Because, oh, it's going to be okay, Jordan. It's going to be okay. What did you want me to do? So I'm like, well, what happened? So this man proceeds to say, I came out here and I wanted to go to the Apple store. Now, mind you, where he lived at, like I said, he's 45 minutes away from me, but where the Apple store was either like 40 minutes in an opposite direction from where I was, like another direction from him, and then the one out here by me, which is obviously 45 minutes this way. So obviously he came out to the one by me because I'm pretty sure he was going to try to finesse some type of way to come see me anyway. So he was like, I went to the Apple store, I went to the mall, I went to Nike, I got some like stuff. Now mind y'all, remember I told y'all he had money from his they paid him out for his 401k from his job. So he had a little money to play with, but he was burning through that money. So he was like, oh, I went to the Nike store. I got some shorts. Y'all don't even get me the line. I don't remember what he got, but I think he got some shorts and like some, maybe a sweatsuit or something, you know, some regular stuff. And he was like, I left out of there and then I went to Apple. Now, y'all, if you know, sometimes you got Apple stores that are like in the mall, but then y'all know like some malls had the Apple store that's like outside of the mall, like by itself. My Apple store was outside by itself. So he was like, I left out of the mall and then I drove over to the Apple store. I went in there. Y'all, this man bought a laptop. He bought I believe he bought a laptop, a case, and he bought a new pair of AirPods, right? So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what happened? He was like, I think some YNs, if y'all know, y'all know. Because I think some niggas followed me from the mall. So I'm sitting here like, now y'all, the mall from my house is a cool 25 minutes. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. You got to get on about a highway and 2 byways in order before he got to the Target. I don't know about y'all. How does someone follow you from the mall all the way here? And I know some of y'all probably like, well, I don't pay attention behind me. You should. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. My dad, as y'all know, y'all be commenting like, we love your parents. My dad taught me I'm always aware of my surroundings for the most part. Like, I peep the car behind me and I peep the car behind that car. If I realize I make too many turns and you making those same turns, you got about another 1 left turn, 1 right hand turn before I get real low and I have to lose you. Or I'm going to pull over and wait for you to go past me. You get what I'm saying? So for you to just be that oblivious, like, come on. Now, mind y'all, I'm not trying to go into full detail, but this man had got a new car, and I think I told y'all that in the last story time too. He had got a car, and then that's when he got fired from his job, like right after he got that car. Barely could afford that car. Like I told y'all, I thought he should have got a car that was going to get him from point A to point B, but he wasn't trying to listen. The car was, you know, one of those faster cars. I'm not really going to go into detail about what car it was, but you know, Charger, Scat Pack, Hellcat, whatever you want to call it. He had one of those, and it was a bright color. Let's just say it was orange. So you got an orange Hellcat, right? Already causing attention to yourself. Then you leave out of the store, and Jordan used to wear earrings. He used to wear chains, like all of this, trying to look the part. And I'm really not trying to bash him, but y'all, I really got to just be honest. So you used to wear all of this stuff. You got on nice sneakers, okay? You leave the mall and you go to the Apple store. So I'm like, nobody was like, who was watching you? Nobody was following you. He was like, I mean, it was this man outside, you know, he was on the phone. And I'm like, how long was you sitting in the lot? Like, he was like, well, I was on my phone after I got back in the car. Okay, so then you pull out of the mall parking lot and then you make your way to the highway to make your way back down toward me to go to the Target. That's like literally 10 minutes from my crib. So I'm like, okay, he gets to the Target, y'all. He pulls into the lot. He gets out, he goes into the Target. He comes back out to the car. His front window is busted open. Laptop gone. AirPods gone. The case gone. They left the Nike stuff. They took all his electronics and busted his window. So he's pissed off. He was like, I'm like, well, call the cops. He was like, I called the cops. I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? So he was like, I don't get it. I was like, well, did they have any surveillance footage? Like, he was like, no, they don't got cameras this far back in the parking lot. He was like, they followed me and waited for me to go into the store. Then they just robbed me, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's crazy. Mind you, Jordan had tints on this car, y'all. So that means there's no way they could see. They had to know. They had to see you walk out of there, and then they followed you to wherever you were. Again, how did you allow them to follow you for that long? Your car is causing attention. What you got on is causing attention. Then you sitting there. Just too many red flags. Red flag, red flag. So I'm like, okay. He was like, that's really crazy. You really not going to come? I'm like, no. Like, nigga, you was just playing in my face. You honestly think just because you got robbed, that means that I'm supposed to, you know, care? Y'all know. I had posted this, and if y'all that know my close friends, I posted this story, like, back when it happened. And then my friends was commenting, like, they should have took everything. They should have stole the car. And I was like, listen, y'all did not feel bad. So for y'all be like, oh, girl, I hope you ain't go over there. I didn't. So he was like, you know what, bet, that's how you gonna be. It's cool. I was like, Okay. So boom, I was like, okay, if that's everything, I blocked him again. That was it. Going about my day. A few days go by, right? So now y'all, I have to give y'all a little side note about Larry. Larry, again, not trying to give too much away, but Larry had a job that kept him on the road a little while, but then he would come back home. He would be out on the road, you know, from time to time. So we would try to link, you know, in between and stuff. So like I said, a few days go by and Larry's like, okay, I'm gonna be, you know, around you, or like, you know, I'm gonna be in your area, you know, come link me. So I'm like, okay, cool. So y'all, pull up on Larry and y'all know we smoking trees, we vibing, you know, he buying me food, we just chilling, we kicking it, spending some time together. Now, during this time, I had spent the night with Larry, right? Now, I wasn't really spending the night like that for the most part with Larry, but like I was spending like a lot of hours, be going home like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, but this time I actually spent the night with him. So I spent a night and it's like maybe 2 in the morning. I think it was like 2 in the morning, right? I get a text, right, from, can y'all guess? Wasn't Jordan, Delilah. So I get a text from her. It's like 2 in the morning and she sends a picture. Y'all know what this picture is of? It's a picture of her laid across the edge of Jordan's bed, right? And of course I know his covers and everything like that. So she's laid out. I wish I still had him, but whatever. So she's laid out across his bed, like taking a selfie, like laid across his bed. And she was like, yeah, look, still with your favorite nigga.
Are you okay in your head? Because I ain't one of those bitches that's gonna let you even slide.
And I'm just like, and I guess that's what she meant when she said, I came back and it got so much worse for me. Sweetheart, you stuck with him as your baby dad. I was always taught that the one that got away won. And if y'all didn't know that, let me be the first to tell you, if you got away from that toxic man, treating you crazy, cheating on you, violating you, whatever, and he doing all of this with a girl and y'all going back and forth, coming to each other, woman to woman, if you leave, you won. Because she's still stuck with the drama and he's going to keep dogging her out. And I get what y'all saying, like, oh, girl, you still allow him to play in your face. Okay, I was playing in his too. But let's just say he wanted me at the time more than I wanted him. Like, please. Y'all, I could cry. I ain't gonna give too much away. Anyway, she sends this picture of her laid across his bed. So she said, oh, I'm with your favorite nigga. And I was just like, I'm laughing at this point, right? So Larry already knew what was going on. And Larry's attitude, like I said, he looked at stuff as a game too. He was like, you still dealing with that bum ass nigga? Like, what was you still dealing with him for? And I'm like, cause it's fun. And I said, it's not even the fact that I'm dealing with him because of him. I'm dealing with him because his baby mom think I'm going to leave him alone because she told me to. Or because she's trying to scare me away from dealing with him. So the more you try to run me off, the more I'm going to keep dealing with him because the more it's going to piss you off. And I know you're probably like, girl, for what? Because it was fun. Because it was fun and I was young. And I didn't like that she was trying to play me. So I didn't care. So he was like, what you still dealing with him for? I'm like, because it's fun. And he was like, okay, whatever. So I was like, you want to take a picture? And he was like, yeah. Because he was talking that, but he was on the same type of time. So she sends that picture for laid across his bed. So she was like, what's your favorite nigga? So I took a picture of me and Larry, you know, not with our faces in it, but you know, like this part down, but you can see that I'm laid up with somebody next to me. And I sent it back. I was like, oh girl, I'm already with him. Because like I told y'all in the last story, when she texted me that the first time, I was like, oh, who's she talking about? Larry? Because at the time, he was my favorite. Your baby dad was not my favorite nigga no more. Sorry. So I was like, oh, girl, I'm already with him. Y'all know she went right back and showed that to Jordan because that's what she was trying to get off. But again, you're trying to make me mad. I don't care. So I was like, okay, you know, whatever. Next day comes up, you know, I end up leaving Larry. I end up going home. We say our goodbyes. He goes back off to do his own little thing. And I go home. And I get a text from, like, I think it was like a text app, Google Voice, something from Jordan. He's like, can you unblock me? I'm like, okay. So I unblock him. He's like, that's crazy. And I'm like, what's crazy? He was like, you was laid up with Larry. I'm like, yeah. He was like, that's crazy. I was like, did I or did I not tell you if you wanted me back, I was going to violate? And I was like, it's so crazy that you're trying to press me about something that you're doing. He was like, it wasn't even like that. I'm like, how did your baby mom get into your crib and onto your bed and able to take a picture laid across your bed? He was like, I wasn't even in there. I was in the living room. How did your baby mother get into your crib and get to your bed to take a picture? I didn't say you were in the picture, but she has access to your crib. She has access to the bed that I was just asleep. Like, come on, like, be for real. So He was like, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. He was like, she pulled up drunk. Mind you, their son was staying over there. So he was like, she pulled up drunk and talking about she was coming to pick our son up. And I told her, like, he's asleep. It's late. It was 2 a.m, y'all. Like I told y'all. He was like, it's late. I told her that she had to go, but she said she had to pee. Mind y'all. Side note, Delilah lived like 7 minutes away from Jordan. There was no reason for her to be over there. But you let her in. Talking about, oh, she had to go to the bathroom. So he lets her in. She goes to the bathroom. And then he claims that he was trying to kick her out. Like, I was telling her to leave. I was telling her to go. And then she just went into my room. And she sat on the edge of the bed. And she was trying to sleep with me. She was trying to do this. She was trying to do that. Now, I know y'all probably like, Ayanna, I hope he wasn't oblivious. I think absolutely not. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't care if they fucked. I didn't care if they didn't. I didn't care if they... I don't care what they did. At the end of the day, I've been not going to, because I knew that you still did with your baby mom in any aspect. It was over for you when I first found out you was even talking to the girl. You get what I'm saying? So her laying across your bed is the least of your worries. You get what I'm saying? You just calling my phone how you just got robbed. He was like, well, she was there for me. She was there for me. Good. That's her job, isn't it? It's not my job. So he was like, yeah, but that's crazy that you laid up with him. I'm like, okay. What you want me to do with that information? He was just like, you know what? You being cold-hearted. You acting like you acting nonchalant. You acting like you don't care. That's really crazy. I'm like, okay. He was like, you know what? I'm going to just have to let you go. I'm going to just have to let you go. I'm like, yeah, let me go. Let me go. So he was like, okay, bet. So I'm like, okay, bet. Yo, we cut communication. That was literally probably for like, what, 3 days, I want to say. Honestly, it was probably like 3 days or so, right? Then, of course, that didn't last long. He hit me up again, like, can we just talk? Can we just vibe? Like, can we just, you know, figure out, you know, what's going on? Da, 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 da. So I'm like, figure out with what? Like, figure out what? Figure out what? Figure out what? Now, mind you, he was like, come on, can we just talk? Like, I'm going to come out there and take you out so we could talk. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And I'm here probably like, girl, but listen, I was doing stuff. So I let him come out here. Boom, we get dressed and we go out to like this little shopping area. They got restaurants and little stuff over there. So we go over there, we have dinner and we're talking. We just, you know, trying to catch up. So I'm like, what's up? He was like, are we going to try to work on things? Are we going to work on things? You really got to leave Larry alone. Like, he don't really care about you. I'm like, how you got the audacity to tell me what another man cares about me when you don't? You're in no way, shape, or form. And I'm like, I'm sick and tired of your baby mom trying to... I don't even know what Delilah's goal was, to be honest. I think she just wanted me to leave him alone. And the thing is, I don't even think Delilah wanted Jordan. She just didn't want him to be dealing with nobody else in a weird way. Like, I really don't know. He was like, she was the one trying to sleep with me. She was the one trying to sleep with me. So he pulls out his phone. And Delilah, if you're watching, yeah. So he pulls out his phone and he's showing me the messages of her, like, oh, well, why you don't want to sleep with me? Oh, that's how you acting? Oh, basically like, oh, I'm giving you bread and you don't want to sleep with me. You just want to use me. So it got bad for me, Delilah? No, sis, I would say it got bad for you. That's what I would say, because I don't make the rules. So I'm like, okay, Jordan, at the end of the day, I really still don't care because you still allowed her to be in your house. You should have told her to go. He's like, that's my baby mom. Would you? I was like, and that's your problem. Every excuse is, but that's my baby mom. But that's my baby mom. That can be your baby mom. But when you have a baby mom, you have boundaries. If you're trying to pursue a relationship with someone, you, not me, not her, you are the one responsible to input boundaries, to place boundaries, so that way the person that you're with does not feel any type of way of the relationship that you have to have with your baby mom. And he got offended when he said that I said, oh, you shouldn't. I told y'all that he's the reason why women shouldn't date men with kids. If you ask any random girl, if I ask any of y'all in the comments right now, comment down below, what reason do you have to not date men with kids? And I bet you 90% of y'all going to say, oh, because they still be dealing with their baby moms. Some of y'all might say, oh, girl, because I'm the baby. I don't want a nigga with kids because I'm the baby. Or you could say, I don't have kids, so I don't want a nigga with kids. But majority of people are going to say because they still be dealing with their baby moms. And that's what you were doing. You are the definition of why usually women do not date men with kids. Am I lying? Anyway, so again, we're trying to have a conversation and stuff. And I told him the truth. I was like, I'm going to be honest. I don't really see myself not dealing with Larry. I know one of y'all commented too. Y'all was like, oh, I was a PIMP named Slickback. Y'all, I'm not telling you stories to brag or like saying that I was going back and forth, but I was having fun. I was young and I was hurt. In a way, I was still hurt. So if you're going to play with me, I'm going to play with you. And that's just what it is. And I felt, I'm a Capricorn. So I felt very much like I'm going to get my lick back. What he say? What Boston Richie say? Like, I'm going to get my lick back even if I get life. Trust me, I will do anything to get my lick back. I don't care. And hurting his feelings and you coming all the way out here wanting to see me and do all of this, it wasn't doing anything for me to want to be with you. But I just like getting the attention because, I don't know, I just did. So like I said, we had this little conversation and stuff, and he was like, I think we need a weekend for us to just go away and spend some time together. He was like, you know, I'm gonna get a room and then we could do whatever you want to do. We could kick it, we could go to the movies, we could vibe, like we could do this, da da da. And I'm like, okay, Jordan, like I'll let you know. And like I said, me and Larry were not exclusive. We were just still having fun. He knew what it was, but he was like, you know, I gotta see, you know, what's going on with you with Jordan first. So I was fair. I wasn't really trying to be super tied down to either one of them at this point. I was just having fun. So his attitude is to get me away from Larry is by trying to take me away for the weekend. We just need a break. We just need to change the scenery. I'm like, yeah, boy, okay, like, you know, whatever. So, boom. Takes me home. He go about his business and stuff, right? Delilah still, and y'all, I'll be honest. Like I said, I'm not innocent. I'll be honest. I was definitely posting about her on my story because she was always watching my story. So if you're going to keep watching my story, I'm going to keep giving you something to watch. So I will post random stuff with him. Even if I wasn't with him, I will be posting old boomerangs, old videos, old pictures, anything of him just so I could piss her off because it was pissing her off. Nothing she ever posted pissed me off at all. So that was that. So then y'all, a few days later, right? Larry comes back to town. And I don't even want to say a few days. It might have been like a week or so. Like, I wasn't really feeling Jordan, so I was really trying to keep my distance, even though he was planning this little weekend away. So Larry and I, we get together. Now, I guess I do got to kind of give y'all a little bit of details. So he comes out here and he was like, hey, you want to ride with me? And I was off from work this time. So he was like, oh, you want to ride with me to Massachusetts? And I'm pretty sure y'all can guess what his profession was, right? So he said, you want to ride with me to Massachusetts? And I'm like, ride with you to Massachusetts? He was like, yeah, you know, you could sleep, you could do whatever, like, you just ride with me. So I'm like, I don't know. Now, mind y'all, I was telling Jordan that I was home, right? So I was telling Jordan that I was home. So he was like, and I used to do this a lot. You know how, like, y'all know how it be. Like, oh, yeah, I got home, da, da, da. But like I told y'all, me and Jordan had been stopped sharing locations. So my ass was just lying most of the time. So, Larry came out here. He was like, yeah, ride with me to Massachusetts. So I was like, I see. But I still pulled up on him. So we chilling. We vibing together. And I'm texting Jordan. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm home. I'm about to be home. Like, I'm tired. Like, I'm going to bed. And he was just like, yeah, okay, right? I thought he believed me. Y'all, it's like, I'm not even going to hold y'all. Larry had to be in Massachusetts for his job at, like, he had to be there, I want to say, like, 7-ish, 8-ish in the morning. So obviously we had to get on the road at least, like, 3 in the morning. So I'm in the bed sleep. All I remember is like halfway waking up and Larry was like, oh, you coming with me? I was just like, yeah, sure. Right? He is driving. Like I say, I'm pretty sure y'all could guess the profession. Put one and one, put two, put one and one together, get two. So I'm asleep, but then I feel like the truck, because I'm trying to be too secretive. So the truck is moving. So I'm like sleep and all I see is my phone. Buzz, 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 buzz. Y'all, I'm looking why Jordan was FaceTiming me. Jordan FaceTiming me. Y'all, when I tell y'all this man was FaceTiming me back to back to back to back to back to back. And to the point, y'all have somebody blow y'all phone up to the point where you can't even like ignore it. You can't turn your phone off. You can't like exit out of it, nothing. When I tell y'all this man called me like 37 times in a row, he was calling my phone, he was texting me, he was FaceTiming me. So I'm like, bro, what? At this point, it's like I'm caught. Right? So all I do is I listen to a voice message. I never answered the phone. So I listened to a voice message and he was like, oh, I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it. He was like, you really with that, Larry? Da, 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 that's crazy. That's crazy. All of the stuff that you used to tell me about him. Mind you, I never really told him nothing about Larry because me and Larry never really had nothing really to talk about outside of the whole LA trip. So I'm like, I'm just listening to the voice message. And he was like, that's crazy. I hope it was worth it. I really hope it was worth it. The whole time it's like, boy, you're not going nowhere. So he said, I really hope it was worth it. He was like, you lying, talking about some you was home sleep. He was like, why am I home? He was like, why do I get to your crib? He's like, there's nobody here. I'm like, nigga, if you had a job, you wouldn't be having time to come all the way back to my house again. So he's like, you're a fucking liar. You're a liar. He was like, I came all the way out here and your car is not here. He was like, I thought you was home. I thought you was home. Now, mind y'all, remember when I told you me and him had went out and when he had came out like a few weeks before that, and like I said, the restaurants and the hotels and stuff, all of them was out there. One of my favorite hotels, chains or whatever, is out there. So he was like, I even rode over to the hotel because I wanted to see if your car was in the lot, and I would have waited outside until you came outside and da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, thinking to myself, like, Jordan, it would have not have went like that because Larry plays with glizzies. Y'all know what I mean. And he would not have hesitated. And I would not want to be a part of that. And I'm not even trying to like brag on that, y'all. I would not want to be a part of that. Because I'm like, what you mean you would have pulled up to the hotel and waited for me to come outside? You set this whole thing in motion. So how dare you try to be mad at me? So he steady sending the voice messages. He was like, I really hope it was worth it. You're a 304, you're a da-da-da-da-da, and I'm tired of you, da-da-da, you've been having me chasing behind you and running behind you, da-da-da, you have a way of having a whole bunch of niggas fall for you and fall in love with you, and da-da-da, again, you messed up. You messed up. And I told y'all, I'm not a cheater, I'm a cheater backer. You may cheat first, but I will always cheat worse, okay? And you can't handle it. Men can never handle it. They will put us through the ringer and then be thinking we're going to be the one sliding down the wall for them. No, you're going to be the one sliding down the wall, sir. So, again, y'all blowing my phone up to the point where I was just like, I was still half asleep because, again, we had just went to sleep at like 12. He had to be up driving by like 3:30. He like took a nap and he was like driving. But he had his headphones on. He didn't even know I was up. He was like talking to like one of his friends or whatever on his headset. So I turned my phone. As soon as he stopped calling, I turned my phone off, y'all, and went to sleep. We get all the way up there. Larry finally wakes me up. He was like, you good? You hungry? So I'm like, yeah. So he orders DoorDash because we was stuck at the delivery spot or whatever for a little minute. So we get food and he was like, you want to stay out here with me for a few days? I'm like, a few days, sir? Like, I need to take a shower. I don't have like clothes like that. Like, he was like, I will buy you some clothes. I'm like, I don't know. Like, we'll see, right? So he was like, well, what's going on? So he sees me. I finally turn my phone back on. And of course, Jordan had left me like 13 text messages, everything. He's like, you just really not going to respond back. Like, that's really crazy. Like, I don't want nothing to do with you. All of this other stuff. So I texted him back and I was like, yeah, we'll talk when I get back. And he definitely responded. It was like, okay, cool. Because you wasn't going nowhere. Yeah. And like, I know men be saying like, girls, y'all do that too. Y'all be going off, and y'all don't be going nowhere. Y'all do too. And I will say men might have a little bit more self-respect than us sometimes because we just be, I don't know. But I was not playing with Jordan. And y'all know how it be like when you start leaving a relationship mentally, your body will eventually follow. My heart was not there anymore. My heart was out of it when I first found out about Delilah. I'll be completely honest with y'all. Now, my head might have still been there because I was reaping some type of benefits from it. And then I know y'all probably was like, you was playing with his head, he was playing with mine. It's all fair in love and war. So, again, I get up and he was like, well, what happened? I was like, oh, Jordan pulled up to my house and peeped that I left with you. So, Larry was eating it up. He was like, well, it is what it is. Like, oh, well, you need to stop dealing with him anyway. So then me and Larry had more of a serious conversation and he was just like, what's up with you? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want? And I was just like, I don't know. I don't really know. And he was like, you really just need to stop dealing with him. Da, da, da. And I'm like, well, what you trying to do? He was like, I'm trying to do whatever you want to do. That's not good enough. That's not good enough for me. But like I said, I knew Larry was the type that would be on my ass, y'all. He was not about to let up. So I was just like, give me some more time. He was cool with it. He was just like, okay, cool, bet. So we finished up. I did stay out there with him for another night. I think he had another like pickup or whatever in Connecticut. And I stayed out there with him. And then he drove me all the way back down, got my car, and then I went home. Now, fast forward, right? I finally hit Jordan up and I'm like, oh, you ready to talk? He was like, yeah, you could come out here. So I'm like, okay. So y'all, I ended up going to his house. I think I got out there like 7 in the morning. It was like a weekday. So I get out there, it's like 7 in the morning. And he lets me in and stuff. And I'm like, what's up? And he was like, what's up with you? I'm like, what's up with you? He's like, you had fun the last couple of days? I'm like, did you? Because again, the cat's out the bag now. Like, I already got caught up. So it is what it is. And I think he didn't like the fact that I didn't care as much. Because it's like, how are you mad when I literally already sent Delilah a picture of me with this nigga? You get what I'm saying? Also, whatever. So we sitting on the couch and stuff. And he was like, well, I got to go take my son to school probably within the next hour or two, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So we vibing. We smoking trees. We chilling. I'm on the couch vibing. He finally gets up and he was like, okay, I'm about to go pick my son up and take him to school. So I'm like, okay, bet. So he gets up. He leaves out. I'm on the couch, y'all, right? I post a boomerang of me smoking. And now I didn't post like me, but you know how like I'm recording the TV doing a boomerang, but you can see the smoke behind the camera. Y'all, why Delilah's still stalking my story. So, lo and behold, right like 5, and I get that from, I don't know if y'all follow her. Like, I watch her story times too. I think Life with Simone, love your story times, sis. So she be like, lo and behold, she was still stalking my stories. So not even like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, Jordan comes back into the crib and he was like on the phone, going off. So I'm like, who was you talking to? He was like, I'm on the phone with Delilah. He was like, I guess she saw your story. And I'm like, but I was depressed when it got worse for me, girl. You were crashing out. So she's on the phone, y'all, cursing him out. So he put her on speaker. And she's just like, oh, you dealing with that little girl, And I'm like, why is people be so quick to call you young? Like, girl. So she was like, you still dealing with that little girl? Like, I'm tired of her. You said you was done with her. You said you was done with her. He was like, I never told you I was done with her. She was like, well, you need to be done with her. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, he was like, why do you keep stalking her story? He was like, if she's so young and you're not worried about her, why do you keep stalking her story? He's like, she just posted that on her story 20 minutes ago and you're quick to see it. What is your problem? She was like, I don't care about none of that. You're a bum. You don't need to be dating with nobody. And again, not your business. That's your business. She's like, she let you know that she dealing with somebody else. You don't even care. Like, that says a lot about you. He said, again, why is it your business? Why do you care so much? So he's basically just telling her that she's a stalker. He's calling her pressed. And I was just in the background laughing, right? So they're on the phone literally going back and forth, y'all, for like a cool 30 minutes, I want to say. Then out of nowhere, she was like, you know what, bet, I'm going to come over there, right?
Baby, don't play with me, baby, because I get active for real.
So Jordan is like, okay, I want you to leave. I'm like, you want me to leave? He was like, yeah. He was like, because y'all, mind you, he decided that he wanted to do that little getaway weekend that weekend. So he was like, go home. He said, get ready, pack, do whatever. He was like, and then I'm going to come out there to you. I'm going to pick you up. He was like, I'm going to book the room. We going to go away. And he was like, we just want to get away for the weekend just so we can work on us. So I'm like, okay. So at first, y'all, though, I'm gonna be honest, I was not trying to leave at all. Because I'm like, what am I leaving for? I don't feel as though that I did anything wrong. He was like, I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but I'm not really trying to have it be a situation. He was like, you have a lot to lose. She don't got nothing to lose. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm tired of your baby mom disrespecting me. So she wants to come here and it be a problem, then it can be a problem. So Jordan was like, no, we're not doing that. So he calls the cops. So next thing you know, the cops come there and they're talking to him, taking a report, and they're like, well, is she here? So he's like, no. So they're like, well, who is that? He's like, that's my girl. So they're like, okay. He was like, she's jealous of my girl. She's been harassing me and her for months. But it got worse for me, Delilah. He was trying to get you locked up, sis. So apparently, I don't know if she like pulled up and was parked in front of the house. And he was like, she drives this, she drives that, So the cops was out there, right? So he was like, well, I'm gonna wait for the cops to leave and then you could just head out. And I'm like, Jordan, you serious? He was like, yeah, I don't think she's gonna come now, but just like go home, pack. Like, I promise I'm gonna be out there in like a few hours. I just need to get this handled. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I leave out or whatever, and naturally I go all the way home. So y'all, I get home and I call my best friend and she was just like, girl, don't go. And I was like, I'm going because I ain't paying for the weekend. Like, that's a weekend away, paid. He gonna be spending money on me. And people be like, oh, that's his 401k money. I don't care if it was his 401k money. I don't care if it was money that she gave him, like the dump bitch she is. I don't know. So he, like I said, a few hours goes by and he comes out here and he picks me up and boom, we head away to this hotel and we're just vibing. Now, y'all, he starts trying to have a whole like heart to heart about everything. And I'm just like, Jordan, I don't trust you. I was like, I really don't understand. He was like, I don't trust you either. He was like, you don't think that I know that on Valentine's Day, he was like, you was texting Larry. You was going to the bathroom acting like you was so sick or whatever. You was texting him the whole time. And I was just looking at him like, y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I lost so much respect for him in that moment. And I don't know if I said this in the last video, so I'm gonna say it again. I don't know if I lost a lot of respect for him in that moment, but it was just like, there's no way you would be texting a girl in my face and I visibly see you texting a girl in my face and you keep getting up to go to your car, to go to the other room, go to the bathroom, go to the kitchen. And I'm not gonna say, who is that? Matter of fact, I'm gonna snatch your phone out your hand and read it myself. And as soon as you start acting crazy, I'll leave. I'll excuse myself. So you mean to tell me I was laid up with you in your house on your couch and was texting Larry, getting up, running to the bathroom, going back and forth, arguing with Larry, and you never said anything? He was like, well, I was just lying and wait. I was just trying to see how you was moving. You knew how I was moving when I went to LA with him twice. So in that moment, like I said, y'all, I was just like, But then I'll be honest, y'all, I was a little manipulative. I don't know. I was a little manipulative because I started crying, right? And I feel like when you get caught up, I don't know if y'all do this. I'm not like this anymore, but I would get caught up and I would be the one to cry to get the nigga to feel bad for me. And now they looking at themselves like, well, don't cry. Even though I'm the one that messed up. They be like, oh, come on, don't cry, don't cry. It's very manipulative. But I used to do that all the time. So I did that. And he was just like, oh, I'm not really trying to, you know, do all of this. Like, come on, let's just go. Like, come on, let's just go shopping or something. So I forget where we went. We had went and got soul food and stuff. And then he bought me, I forget what he bought me, a bag. I don't even remember. But again, we have spending time together. So of course that whole weekend, y'all, I'm posting boomerangs, I'm posting little pictures, I'm posting, I forget what song it was. Dog, what song was it? It was Summer Walker. Because it was like around the time she dropped her album, the fourth Baby Mama album, the one that has that song on it. I forget what song I posted, but I think it was a song with her and JT or whatever. But whatever, it doesn't even matter. But I was posting that and I was pissing Delilah off. Like, she was just irritated. She was mad. So again, I guess she was hitting him up, trying to harass him, going off like, oh, you called the cops on me, oh, you did this, oh, you still with that girl, oh, she's gonna play you, she's gonna do this. So he was just ignoring her. So that was that, right? So we get through the rest of the weekend and Larry's hitting me up and Larry was like, you really went away for the weekend with him? Like, that's really crazy. Like, he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, we really need to have our own talk because I'm trying to, you know, really settle down. Like, I really want to see, you know, what's what. So I'm just like, and I know you're probably like, girl, you shouldn't have been dealing with neither one of them. But I don't know. I feel like I was at a point in time where it's like, you know, I just wanted to not really be with somebody, but I like having somebody. You get what I'm saying? Like, having somebody to take me out, having somebody to buy me stuff, having somebody, but maybe not really the actual real life commitment part. I don't know. I just like vibing. So we get through our weekend. I didn't really feel the spark anymore with Jordan. And I'll be honest. So he'd be like, oh, you're lying. I didn't really feel the spark with him like that no more. Then fast forward, you know, I want to say like a month went by, a little, maybe not even a month, maybe like 2 weeks went by, right? And then I started talking to Larry a lot more, like really vibing with him, really spending a lot more time with him, meeting his mom, his sister. You know, I was really his friends. I heard met his friends in LA, but you know, really being around him a lot more to the point where he was like, oh, let's go to Atlanta. So I'm like, you want to go to Atlanta? He was like, yeah, let's take a road trip. So I'm like, okay. So he was supposed to go down there with his best friend. I forget what I named his friend in the story. Don't even get me to lying. I forgot. But his one best friend, it was his birthday coming up. So he was like, oh, let's go to LA. But then that trip fell through. I mean, Atlanta, but that trip fell through. So he said, you want to go to Atlanta with me? We could drive. So I'm like, okay. So y'all, I was talking to Larry and I got in a car and we drove to Atlanta for 420. So we get to Atlanta and we vibing, right? And I forgot what we was planning on doing or whatever, but I definitely hit up Jordan. I was like, oh, can you send me some money? And he sent it. And he knew that I was in Atlanta with Larry. And he tried to sit here and like, I didn't know that. Yes, you did, because I was posting it on my story. And at the time, your baby mom was stalking me. So whatever. So we go to Atlanta, we vibing. Like I said, Jordan sent me money and me and him was just working on our own little bond. And like, that's more so how we became more of a relationship. And I pretty much just left Jordan alone. Like, I really wasn't dealing with him no more. And yeah, I really want to say that was pretty much the whole rigmarole, y'all, of the whole Larry and Jordan saga. And that was that. But of course, like I said, we get back from Atlanta and Jordan's texting my phone, talking about something. I want to smoke with him, texting my phone, sending me, emailing me, texting me paragraphs, drunk as hell, like, oh, I want to smoke with him. I want to fight him. You know, nobody's ever going to love you like me. I hope not. I hope no ever love me like you did, if that's your definition of love. So he was like, that's crazy. I feel like you use me. Da, da, da. I use you. What did I use you for? I hate when niggas be like, oh, you use me. Or you're a gold digger. How I'm gold digging money that you don't have? How am I using you for stuff that you don't have? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I could give y'all a lot more tea, but that would just be bashing him at that point. So I'm like, I don't even need to do all of that because I was with him. But you play in my face, I played in yours back, and I had the last word at the end of the day because, again, I got away. You're still stuck with Delilah as your baby mom, and she's still stuck with you as her baby dad. And that's how the cookie crumbles. But yeah, y'all, so like I said, life went on, and me and Larry, you know, tried to make a relationship work, but he took me through the ringer too, y'all. He took me through the ringer too. And his stories are just so much worse because I was putting my hands on Larry. I'll be honest, I do not condone DV. I don't, but he deserved it, y'all. He really did. But, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the story time. That was, like I said, the end of that whole saga until me and Larry really started getting more in tune with each other. So, yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I don't know what story time I'm going to give y'all next. I might give y'all a poll. I might actually ask y'all. I'm going to just give y'all a title, and then y'all can pick which title sounds better for y'all. And, yeah. But we do have another Girl Was Tea episode 2 coming up for next week. So continue to send me your stories, and of course I love reading them on camera. Y'all definitely ripped up the girl in the second story time. I don't know what her problem was, but I definitely asked her for an update. So as soon as she gives me an update, I'll make sure that y'all get that update. But again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, repost, reshare. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all in my next video. Peace.